Hello, welcome to this update. So let's see what's happening. We have this light risk of severe weather spots of Texas, central to eastern Texas, and this light risk in spots of Iowa into Wisconsin as well, in southern Minnesota. And there's these marginal spots of Texas into Louisiana and Arkansas, another one North Carolina, southern Virginia to South Carolina, and these bigger marginal spots of the west in Idaho, spots of Wyoming, Montana into northern Utah, Colorado, and even Nevada, and this marginal from Nebraska to Wisconsin. So let's see. Thunderstorms associated with severe wind gusts and hail are possible today parts of Texas and the upper Midwest. Marsh's severe storms are also possible in parts of the Intermountain region, northern high plains, the mid-Atlantic Carolinas. So be careful in those areas today, especially the slight risk. So we have this 15% chance of damaging wind spots to the Midwest and into Texas there. Be careful. And 5% in all the marginals. So there's the hail too, especially there in Iowa, in those areas, the 15% chance hail. So stay safe there. Also 5% spots of the west, some storms with hail in the east and spots of the south as well. So be careful. And there's a 2% tornado threat in Texas still, spots of central southeastern Texas. So be careful in those areas. So here it does show those storms, spots of Texas. There's a lot of heavy rain. This shows that line of storms throughout today scattered across eastern Texas with some very heavy rain and flooding danger. So this shows layer into Louisiana, some stronger storms too, and continues in central Texas. It even shows tonight until Thursday. Shows some strong cells tonight, central Texas, and this line of storms throughout Thursday afternoon, Texas into Louisiana in Arkansas, even more in Mississippi Thursday. So be careful. Those areas, a finger or two in Oklahoma, but nothing too crazy. So stay safe. Those areas, Texas, not Texas, into Mexico, should have some stronger ones as well, especially like tomorrow afternoon, and right now shows some stronger, some heavier ones as well. So be careful. Those areas further north, not north, yeah, further north into the Midwest does show the first storm or two in Minnesota, some in northern Iowa, especially later in the evening, like there in Iowa to Wisconsin. This goes and like that, those storms in Texas might reach as far north as northern Arkansas, a few storms as well. So be careful. Shows a few ones in the mountains in the west, Colorado, like some small pop-up storms this afternoon. This goes and maybe into South Dakota, some as well. So shows like spots of Utah, yeah, and into Idaho, especially in Idaho, like some stronger storms into Montana, spots of Wyoming, potential stronger ones in Idaho, into Montana, Wyoming with some hail. So be careful in those areas. Montana, a finger or two in South Dakota as well. And yeah, a storm or two in eastern Utah, but nothing crazy. And into Colorado. So beware. The southeast, that does show some stronger ones in South Carolina into Virginia, especially like early in the afternoon and later show some as well. So be careful. More in Florida, a few ones central southern Florida. Today and Thursday still shows some scared in the southeast, so be careful those areas too. So here shows the the whole area, those storms, the upper Midwest in Iowa, especially like central northern Iowa to Wisconsin. So stay safe in those areas. There's the Cape as well. Shows like especially in Texas, slightly higher in eastern Texas and Louisiana, more than 3,000 joules per kilogram, but might increase in spots of Nebraska and Iowa as well. It barely shows any cape in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but it does show most of it in Iowa. So be aware, and like in the East Coast a lot as well. so stay safe in those areas. Does show day 2 for Thursday, still marginal risk Texas to Arkansas and Louisiana, spots of Tennessee into Mississippi and southern Missouri. Another one into Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, spots of Minnesota into Iowa, Wisconsin, and western Kansas. So be careful tomorrow. There's actually two areas of tornado threat tomorrow. One from Texas to southern Missouri, another one into Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota. So be careful in those areas. Tornado or two possible. There's like wind 5% in all those areas, and some hail too. Slightly smaller area, but still in Texas and more spots in the plains. So widely scattered strong to severe storms expected Thursday across parts central to northern plains, upper Midwest. Strong to severe storms may also occur parts of Texas to the lower Mississippi Valley. So stay safe in those areas Thursday. Be careful still. So there's like this low amplitude upper level shortwave trough move across northern plains, upper Midwest on Thursday. Deeper upstream shortwave will begin to influence the Pacific Northwest. Weak mid-level lows forecast drift northeastward across parts of southern plains. At the surface, a lee cycle may gradually deepen during the day's central high plains, while a weak frontal waves forecast to develop and move eastward from the southern South Dakota into northwest Minnesota. So yeah, a general forecast and overview. And day 3 is very interesting. So we have a slight risk for day 3. The spots of Oklahoma, northernmost Texas, Kansas into Nebraska, Colorado, spots of Wyoming into Montana, and spots of South Dakota as well. And this marginal risk from Texas to Montana. So this is a different area from the ones we had recently. There's the probability of 15.5%. So scattered severe storms may occur Friday from Montana to the Central Plains with hail, corridors of damaging winds possible. So be careful in those areas. And like, let's just see this overview again. A shortwave trough moved from the Pacific Northwest to the Northern Rockies, preceding shortwave region of the Northern High Plains. High pressure over the upper Mississippi Valley will help shunt low-level moisture westward into the southwest due to southwester winds. A plume of Theta E will develop into the Central Plains, into western Wyoming and south-central Montana late. By late afternoon through the evening, storms are likely from western to central Montana, extending down to the Front Range, west, northwest, lower aloft, atop back to the surface. Winds result favorable air for shear for cells producing hail, and eventually merging outflows MCS potential northeast Colorado, southwest Wyoming, into western Nebraska and Kansas. Areas damaging winds possible elsewhere. Isolated cells are likely to develop in southern high plains with strong heating occur within a weak surface trough, and southeast wind will maintain the moisture and instability. Hail locally strong gusts likely in this marginal shear environment. So be aware in those areas for Friday. And Saturday is still nothing, and we'll keep watching. So be aware in those areas, and there is an elevated fire risk in spots of the west into Washington, Oregon, and Nevada and Utah as well, especially because of the higher temperature. So be careful. Still elevated in California and Nevada into Washington, Oregon for Friday. So be aware for Friday, no, for Thursday, because today is Wednesday, so day 2 is Thursday. So be careful in those areas, and yeah, stay safe. The rest is kind of fine, except for heavy rain, which you will see right now. So there's this moderate risk in spots of Texas, central-ish to eastern Texas, for excessive rainfall. So please be careful with flooding today, especially from those storms training there today into tonight and all the way to Thursday afternoon. So just endless round of storms. So be careful in those areas with flooding. Also slight risk, be careful. Be careful just as much in spots of Louisiana into Texas, Oklahoma, and southern Arkansas. This marginal risk goes all the way to Florida and all the way to Virginia. Marginal risk on the west as well with those storms, and the Midwest. stay safe. Day 2, a slight risk in the upper Midwest and spots of Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and in Florida, marginal, this marginal in the north as well. Day 3, a slight risk, Texas to southern Illinois, and this marginal as well, and marginal spots of the west for Friday. Saturday, still marginal from Texas to Maine. Sunday, still from Texas to New Jersey, a marginal, so, and spots of the upper Midwest. So be careful in those areas. Just today shows close to 3 inches spots of Texas, even 4 inches in isolated spots. So stay safe in those areas. That's a lot of rain. Day 2 shows some more in the plains and the upper Midwest. Day 3 is still special around the south and some rain on the east as well. Day 4, some storms further north in Canada. Day 5, mainly the east, southeast. Day 6 shows stuff in the plains as well, potential. Day 7. So day 1 through 7 shows more than 5 inches in some spots of Texas and through Arkansas and Louisiana. So stay safe in those areas, especially in southeastern Oklahoma into Texas. And yeah, and spots of Florida, some more as well. The upper Midwest might have those heavier storms. So stay safe, especially with this excessive rainfall today. Shows like some hazards still showing day 3 through 7, some hazardous heat in the southwest and some heavy rain. So be careful those areas. Day 8 through 14 still some hazardous heat possible and some heavy rain. And a few spots, some high winds, a risk of extreme heat. So be careful, some winds on the west, day 8 through 14 as well. So be careful. There's like this heat risk across central plains, spots of southern Texas, in the southwest Wednesday, Thursday, spots of the south, and even the east coast moderate heat risk. Saturday, the southwest. Sunday grows in Arizona, in New Mexico, few spots in extreme. Monday and Tuesday still a few spots of extreme and major in the south. So stay safe. The heat does show this heavy rain next day or so from the HER. It does show a few spots close to 4 inches, even a few isolated spots to like 5 inches in the HER, 3 to 4 inches in a few spots next 24 hours. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. There's here like let's see the updraft holistic for hail and stuff. So that show those storms in spots of Wyoming to Montana. That shows some slight chances for some moderate hail spots of western Wyoming and to Montana and Idaho. So stay safe. More spots of Texas and still some in the Midwest in Iowa to Wisconsin. The significant tornado parameter does show like uh, nothing that crazy, just maybe finger too close to Texas this afternoon or evening, but like barely nothing. But that showed some like very tiny slight in Texas, but yes, it's very little. But stay safe. They have the 2% there. And the herd that showed this weird area is southern Texas, but I don't think there will be many storms that far south. But stay safe because the herd now did show some storms there too. So be careful those areas and stay safe. Just to check what they have for those temperatures. So it's still like Wednesday today, close to 107 Arizona, California, 106 in other spots. So stay safe in those areas, especially in that valley, might be 115 plus, and more spots in Washington to 94 in the southeast. So be careful those temperatures. And still shows like during the night, hotter in the south, a few spots colder in the mountains, but still like by Thursday afternoon, some 90s, possible plains, some 80s, 90s in the southeast, and like the southwest, still more than 107, 106. So stay safe in those areas. Still like Thursday afternoon. Friday morning, does show slightly colder in the Cascades, Sierra Nevada, a few spots, but very warm in the south, mid south, southeast. So be careful in those areas. And Friday afternoon, I don't know why they don't have it yet, but it will appear soon. And during Saturday morning, still warm in the south, those areas. The show Saturday afternoon are at 109 in Arizona, southern New Mexico, more than 100 as well, so 108, so very hot. Stay safe in those areas. For Sunday, still hot even during the night spots of the southwest, so that's dangerous. Be careful for the heat risk. But Sunday will be very hot, to 112 in the southwest, 110, especially in Arizona. Phoenix, you might have a very scorching day, so stay safe there. Be careful, drink lots of water, don't leave people inside cars, and stay safe. Please be careful in the plains, very warm as well, spots of Texas. Just checking closer here because we need to see this. Shows some spots like 114 in between California and Arizona, 112, 109. So stay safe in that valley. Very, even more, 115 or something. So stay safe. This is Sunday, June 15th. So Monday afternoon, still to like 115 in some spots, 110 degrees. In Arizona, to like 113. So stay safe in those areas, 112. The valley likely to like 121 plus, and some 90s in the valleys. In Utah as well, Nevada 208. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. Shows like, let's go back here to the whole pictures. So this Monday morning, still warm across the south, those areas. Monday afternoon, I showed you there in the southwest, but also hot in Texas, in the plains, more spots there. For Tuesday morning, slightly colder, the higher Rockies, but still pretty hot in the southwest and the southeast. But like Tuesday afternoon, a little bit better, still to 108 there in the southwest. So 90s further into Texas, more to 100 in New Mexico. So stay safe. Now shows here this wind. Today spots of the Cascades, Rockies, nothing crazy but slightly breezier a few times in the mountains there. So be aware in those areas. So now here, Barbara has gone, the first hurricane of the Eastern Pacific hurricane season, but it has dissipated now. Cosme is almost dissipating as well. It's post-tropical cycle, and then there's this area to 50 and 90% next 7 days. So an area disorganized showers thunderstorms located several hundred miles south of Gulf of Temperatures associated with broad area low pressure. Environmental conditions appear conducted for development of this system. Tropical depression is expected for late this week or weekend, while it moves generally west, not northwestward, or just offshore Mexico. So be aware in those areas. This is not expected to hit land either, but just better watch. There's this new guy that just appeared here, 20% next 7 days. So the conditions might be favorable for this one as well. So be aware those areas. And yeah, the Atlantic still meh, still quiet, but we're still watching some long-term trends. Like the European does have some ensembles into the Gulf, like more than 100 hours out, and even to 200. So, but it's like tiny support, and it changes the whole day. So don't count on that. But still, this massive area of high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, keeping things at bay further south. So, but in the Eastern Pacific, we do have a lot of support for more things to farm, and some members are actually quite strong. So be aware. There's the GFS. It does show more support into the southwestern Gulf. The GFS still with some things, but it does show a lot in the Eastern Pacific still. So be aware that those areas. We'll keep watching. The European does have like 200% chance of tropical depression there in the Eastern Pacific, because those systems by the 15th does show in the southwestern Caribbean some chances, but it always shows this and nothing ever happens in that area. So this goal shows later next week growing again in the Eastern Pacific, 70%, and then probably into Mexico does show these branches into the Gulf. So we might need to watch that, and later does try to grow again further into the southern Caribbean. and some weird shock wave signs there, but that's too far south. Nothing expected there yet. So we'll keep watching, but be aware in those areas. Just a quick look for the rain spots of Canada. So let's see here. We changed the color behind. It's kind of yellow, kind of nice. If you want any cool colors, just say in the comments. Let's see. Shows here spots of eastern Canada still, that rain. Newfoundland, spots of Quebec, a few storms still. On the satellite, you can see this front near Atlantic Canada that has just gone by as well. So shows like the European model, a few storms in Alberta, to British Columbia by Thursday. Shows like some snow in northernmost Canada as well, and possibly a few storms in eastern Quebec Thursday to New Brunswick. So be aware. This goes a little bit of ice and snow far northern Labrador. That shows Friday evening in Alberta, possibly some more storms to watch, because you know the slight risk there in Montana and in those areas in the US. So those storms might branch into Alberta as well. So be aware. Friday, Saskatchewan, some hail and some gusty winds. Still shows Sunday a few storms in Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Next week is still quite active. On the 17th, Western Canada, still some showers and storms. So be aware in those areas. We'll keep watching. The rain accumulation does show more concentrated further west to British Columbia, spots of Alberta, from those storms there. Some across Quebec as well, further north. But the heaviest stuff might be down the west next 5 days. The European is even to 81 millimeters in some areas. In the long range, like until the 22nd, does show even more than 100 millimeters of few spots, possibly, and into the Great Lakes as well. So we'll keep watching, but that's very far out. So the GFS just until the 16th, 5 days. It does have a few storms, Western Canada, a few spots there as well. So stay safe those areas, especially like there's the icon here too. This is working so slow, but here until the 16th from those storm spots of the west. So just to see like Friday here, doesn't show much Cape, but does show like a tiny finger or two in Alberta. So there might be a severe storm or two, but nothing too crazy like in the US. But be aware, some stronger storms does show those temperatures still. Some spots of southern Canada slightly warmer, still some cold spots, but generally warmer. And I don't know why this internet is horrible. So here shows spots of British Columbia slightly warmer. During the night, still colder. Northern Ontario, spots of northern Quebec as well. Into Labrador, the mountains in the west, a few spots there, but milder. Does show slightly warmer southern Canada, like some 20s, southernmost Ontario as well, and even to 21 in northwest territories, like in Alaska as well. There might be like some 50s Fahrenheit, close to like low 60s, but maybe some 50s. So this shows Thursday, kind of colder during the night, the northeast again, in the far north too, and like in the mountains in the west, still colder. So Friday afternoon does get warmer in those valleys, spots of the northwest, and then Saturday might be warmer, southern Saskatchewan, in the northwest again, and then yeah, but no crazy cold or crazy heat, just kind of milder. So be aware, but still colder in a few spots. So be aware. In terms of strong wind, there's kind of breezy in eastern Canada now, and maybe in the northeastern US Thursday afternoon. But some rogue stuff in Nunavut with some Hargus Friday afternoon. This shows later into Monday, still northern Quebec, and potentially in the US, like in the plains, a few spots on the 16th, and especially like the 17th near the west coast. But nothing too crazy, just some spots, some strong gusts sometimes. and still quite breezy in the Caribbean. I've seen some small craft warnings spots in Barbados, so be aware of a few spots. And then this goes Wednesday, Thursday, northern South America, like the southern Caribbean, slightly gustier, and those storms, some rough surf near Mexico, those tropical storms, the Eastern Pacific. So be aware. But those shorties are Mexico into Texas, some Hargos Saturday night. So we'll keep watching. Potentially next week, gusty in the Caribbean again. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. There's still this dust around. Still not too much, but still in spots of the Eastern Caribbean, kind of thick. So be careful the air quality and like the visibility still, and watch for sunsets. So this shows even Cuba and Florida some dust throughout late this week in the Caribbean still. So be careful those areas, but rain is the main guy here. Shows like still Central America, those areas to more than 100 meters next 5 days, especially in Costa Rica, into Guatemala, and Nicaragua, Honduras, especially like northeastern Nicaragua to 108 meters, potential Honduras, spots of southern Nicaragua into Costa Rica. So be careful, some flooding in some spots possible, especially those blobs of moisture that leave a lot of rain. So stay safe. And for reference, you can see there in Texas too, more than 4 inches in spots in Oklahoma. So be careful. And shows these systems getting very close to Mexico, with more than 100 meters in Acapulco next 5 days. The GFS is just 74 because it has further out to sea. The icons all over the place, but does have some storms scattered across central Mexico, sometimes Mexico City, southern Mexico into Guatemala, more than 100 meters, the icon, especially like near the coast in Guatemala. The Europeans like some spots in Guatemala close to 100, but mostly slightly less, but shows more storms in Mexico scattered. So be careful. Belize, El Salvador, more showers and storms. So stay safe in those areas. Some flooding, those rains. So especially like you can see this afternoon today, scared storms in most areas in Cuba, Florida, Central America, even in Jamaica shows some showers. So very stormy. This goes more throughout Central America. So stay safe in those areas. There's the GFS for Central America, and it does go all the way to 300 millimeters in Nicaragua. So stay safe. It might be a little bit less than this, but because the icon is just 46 in those areas, but it does have close to the coast more than 100. So stay safe. The European like 143, the GFS close to 300. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. The Eastern Caribbean still kind of calm, except some stronger storms Trinidad and Tobago, the intertropical convergence zone. So be careful more in the Eastern Caribbean, few showers and storms, especially some the leeward side of the windward side of the islands, with some heavier showers in a few spots to 26 millimeters, in more spots there in the islands. They'll show the further south, the more showers and storms. So stay safe, especially those areas in Barbados, not too much, but a few showers too. So be aware, still in Cuba, Jamaica, some are passing storms, Trinidad and Tobago, and like in Hispaniola, not that much, but a few stuff as well. The Bahamas, a few showers, so stay safe. Those areas, be careful. And they'll show here like the GFS does show that low pressure near Nicaragua, that heavy rain. The GFS still tries to form tropical storm in the Gulf by June 20th, and then it goes there. And later, still nothing. So better watch that sneaky feature there. But you know how the GFS is. The European has the dominant high pressure in the Central Atlantic, those storms in Central America. It does have more moisture into the Gulf to watch, but nothing developing. And then, yeah, and then this goes shows like the Canadians interesting too. that rain there in Central America, storms in Mexico, but it doesn't form anything in the Gulf either. So we'll keep watching, but the GFS is the only one of these interesting things. But the Canadian rainfall is also to like more than 200 millimeter spots of southern Nicaragua, into Honduras, in Costa Rica more than 100, even Belize, Guatemala. So stay safe, that rainfall there. And yeah, so we'll keep watching, but still nothing too crazy in the Atlantic. But be careful there near Mexico and the Eastern Pacific, those areas.